Oh, hi everybody. Sorry. I'm here. Good morning. Hi. This is the first time we're doing this. It's probably gonna be a hot mess, but it is what it is. Because better done than perfect, as someone I know once told me. I'm here at 8:30 in the morning in Los Angeles with my beautiful bean cake, which we're going to talk about. We just posted the recipe for this from the talented Allie Honor, who is a chef in the UK and has written an amazing book called Beans, her cookbook. It's beautiful. If you can get your hands on it, it's published right now in the UK. And but she shared her wonderful recipe with us, which is amazing. And I have to say, kind of nice way to wake up today. Not so bad. Here we are. Mm. So I don't even know if I'm doing this right because we haven't done it before. This is gonna be really interesting. Here we go. So I wanted to show you guys a little bit about what's in the box, answer any questions if there are any. I'm gonna be here to talk a little bit about what I'm cooking in the box and tell you a little bit more about some of the ingredients so that you know you connect a little more with your farmers, the people who grow your food and how they are grown. Yum, tea. Tea is good. Thank you. In fact, I'm allergic to coffee, so tea is it for me. So I thought I would start off a little bit by, oh wait, how did I do this yesterday? I had a whole thing I was doing. I had like the true camera setup going on, and I have no idea how I did that, but nonetheless. So I've got here the wonderful. Actually, maybe I did it this way. Yeah, that's how I did it. Hang on 2 seconds. Nope, nope, nope. There we go. There we go. Now I can, oops, that just has two of me, didn't it? Okay, all right, here we go. Sorry, I should have set this up ahead of time. I thought I did, but we are having a lot of camera difficulties this morning. So let's see. Here we go. There's my close-up camera. Man, I need help here. So we have the wonderful chaparro that you got in your box in May. So if you are in the club and you got your May box, this is what you got. You've gotten your chaparro beans, which are incredible. We're going to talk a lot more about those in a minute. And you got your Sunrise Gold from amazing farmer here in Central California, grown organically, unbelievable. And they had super duper low yields this year. So we are really lucky to have any beans from them. It is why this year we've really had to limit the club, and we're sorry about that. Hopefully next year Mother Nature will be kinder to us and we'll be able to open the club a little bit more and interest more people. But right now, you're very lucky if you were in the club and you got these amazing Sunrise Gold, because they're not going to be available to everybody. And then finally, Blue Masa, which I would imagine is going to be what people are going to be wanting to know how to cook with, because a lot of us here in the States don't cook with masa very often. And so it's a little bit of mystery to a lot of us. And I certainly didn't know how to cook with it when I first started out. So, here I am. Hi. So let's talk a little bit about the chaparros and what makes them so amazing. I am so excited about these chaparros. So first, I want to show you guys a little bit about how they're grown. So one of the things that makes things so special is how they are grown. It's a system called milpa. And milpa is similar, if you've heard of the Three Sisters here in North America, which is an indigenous planting method where you're planting corn, squash, and beans together, because the beans provide nitrogen to the soil. The corn provides a stalk for the beans to grow up, and the squash provides shade for all of them. So together, the three of them provide perfect nutrients. It's the OG regenerative system. Before that was like a cool buzz term that we were all using, people were putting on their packages. This is actually the real deal. This is how it began. And these guys are still farming this way. It's an ancient farming method. I think it goes back around 3,000 years. And it's really barely practiced anymore anywhere in the world. But in Mexico, we're really trying to save it and keep farmers growing this way. But as you can see, when you're planting this way, you've got your beans and your squash all intergrowing. So guess what you have to do? You have to hand harvest. Now, in Mexico, I'm going to show you where these beans are grown. And this is going to be pretty interesting. Oops. Nope. Remove there. Remove this, and I'm going to add this. There we go. I wanted to show you guys a little bit where these are grown so you can understand how remote this is. It's called Huamuchapa. It's a little village, and it is here on the edge of a subtropical jungle. And you can see here how remote it is. It's a pretty remote place. It's very pretty, though. I mean, you can see some of the images off of Google here. This is just Google Images. That it's just this beautiful little remote village and just absolutely stunning. And the land is really, really beautiful. So here in this land, they grow this milpa system, and it really provides everything that the crops need, but they have to hand harvest, and they're up on hills. And so they're up there doing this hand harvesting. It is pretty amazing. Everything is done by hand, the way it was done for thousands of years in that village. And every one of these beans was harvested by hand. I mean, it's very, very special. It's special on a level that it's hard to even comprehend. And the beans themselves, you can taste it. You can taste the love. They are inky black. The broth is just deep and rich and beautiful and flavorful. And they are the most amazing flavor beans you have ever had in your entire life. These are unlike any black beans you've ever had, which made me go, really? I'm going to use these in a bean cake? But I did, because I wanted to try her recipe with them. And man, I have to tell you, even in a bean cake, you can tell the difference. But the bean cake is so, oh yeah. Okay. Maybe don't do it with your melba beans, maybe do, but oh my God, the bean cake is really good. Next time you have a birthday, I'm serious. That is so good. The texture is amazing. And there's this bean spread that she has a recipe for in the middle. I actually used the baby butter beans for that because they're so creamy and they cook up so nicely. So I used the baby butters for the bean spread, and for the cake itself, I used Paro. And when I cooked them, I used, instead of obviously savory seasonings like onion and garlic, I just did salt, water, and I put 1 cinnamon stick in with the pot. And that just gave it just a slight hint of cinnamon, which is kind of turning out lovely in these. So that is the chaparro. Let me know if you have any questions on the chaparro. Hopefully I'm saying all of these. Oh, let me post a link. Oh my, no, I won't post. I'll post a link later to the club blog post where you can read all about the club. If you got your club, you've got a little handout in it. Sorry, I didn't bring one from the warehouse, which was silly of me. And it's Sunday morning, so I can't grab it. But you'll have a handout in there. Definitely read the handout, and there's a QR code. Follow the QR code, and that brings you to the blog post that tells you everything about what's in your box. And of course, here is the wonderful masa. Let's talk a little bit about working with masa. So I'm going to show you guys one of my, add to stage. I'm going to remove this. Hang on. It just takes me a hot minute here. Okay, here I'm going to show you guys some of the recipes. So when you go to our website, you can pull down right here in this menu and choose the ingredient. If you choose masa, it will be all of the masa recipes, including my instructions for how to make fresh tortillas. And there is also a video on YouTube showing you how to make fresh tortillas. So go check out our YouTube channel and all the videos there. Great videos showing you exactly how to make them. Tostadas are the easiest thing to do with masa when you're first starting out. It is kind of a no-fail recipe. And this is a non-fried tostada. I do them in the oven. They're delicious and crispy, and you'll never miss fried, and it's so much healthier and so much easier because you don't have hot oil to deal with. Another thing that is really amazing is something called bacoles. This is what in Mexico they do is when you have masa that you've made. So this is masa harina, which is the dried nixtamalized corn. And to nixtamalize corn, they're changing the pH balance in it. And they might do this with lye, with a food grade lye, or they might do it if you've had our hominy from Chef Dave and his corn mafia, who is using an indigenous method. He's using wood ash to change the pH. Back in ancient times, there were even Native Americans that lived on the coast that had a lot of shells. They would actually use shells to change the pH. So they're just changing the pH of the corn, and they boil it and soak it in that mixture, which changes it. And what it does is it makes the corn, it was done originally as a preservation method to preserve the corn so that it would not go bad over the winters for storage. But turns out what it was also doing is it's making it more bioavailable to your body. So it's more healthy. You're getting more nutrients out of the corn. And that's why if you just eat corn that's not nixtamalized and you didn't eat anything else, if your main diet was just corn, you would actually have nutrient deficiency and you would not be healthy. However, if you eat nixtamalized corn, you're getting all the nutrients. So it was an incredible way that they discovered to preserve their food that they didn't know because they didn't have science, but we now do. And we now know that not only did it do that, it actually made it more nutritious. So indigenous wisdom, man, it's where it's at. And I highly encourage you to cook with this. This is the dry version. It's masa harina. So this is before moisture has been added. From this, you add a little hot water. I add it for my tea kettle because if it's a little hot, or just hot water from the tap is fine too. It doesn't have to be boiling. It just kind of soaks in a little bit better, hydrates the corn a little bit better. So it's a little tip that I kind of picked up in terms of making masa from corn from this. And all it is water and masa harina and a little sprinkle of salt. And that's it. And you just put it in a bowl, and it's kind of like, when you make pancake mix and you don't bother measuring. Me, I never do. And you just kind of add water and mix until you get the right mixture. It's the same thing. So you want it to be like Play-Doh. That's kind of the texture that you want. Not dry, so it's cracking, and not sticking to your hands. And so that's kind of what you're looking for. And then you've made masa. Congratulations. And it's best to let the masa rest in the refrigerator for a little bit, even like 20 minutes, maybe while you're preparing the fillings or getting the stove hot so that you can make the tortillas or whatever you're going to make with it. But that goes in the refrigerator. When you have leftover, like maybe you've made all your tortillas and gosh, I've got too many tortillas. I'm done making tortillas. The leftover masa goes in the fridge overnight, and the beans maybe from your tacos go in the fridge overnight. And the next day you make bacoles. Bacoles, let me show you, are just beautiful. They are a really amazing treat. And you just cover them with some salsa or a little really simple chili sauce or a little crema, whatever you want. But they're really delicious, and it's kind of like a little leftover dinner. So that's a really cool thing to do with your masa. It's very, very, very easy. So I would say in terms of the ease, make tostadas first because it's going to be your easiest way to it. Tortillas are your absolute hardest thing that you do with masa because there's a little bit of a technique. It's a little bit like baking bread or making ice cream. I like to make ice cream in the summer, and I always screw it up the first time, every single time. I always have to buy twice the ingredients, and then it gets all screwed up, and I overcook the milk mixture and make sweet scrambled eggs, throw it all away, and have to start over. And when you're making tortillas for the first time, it's going to take you a number of tortillas to kind of get in the rhythm. And so if you don't make them often, you kind of have to get back in the rhythm every time. I only make ice cream once a year. I have to get back in the rhythm every time. But if I made them every week, then I'd never have to get back in the rhythm. I'd be doing it right the whole time. Just like if you were like me and you made sourdough during the pandemic, you probably were awful at it at the beginning. By the end of the pandemic, you were pretty decent at it. And now my sourdough is languishing in my freezer, and I haven't made sourdough in forever, and I'd be pretty awful at it if I did it right now. But same thing with tamales. Oh, is that not showing you? Oh my goodness. I think I'm like not showing you the right thing here. Was that just on the screen the whole time? Okay, well, that's just not good. Sorry. Okay, hang on. I swear I will get better at this. Okay, so let me go back. So, so let me show you a little bit of the tamales that they are making over in Mexico. So it's very, very traditional to make tamales with the chaparro beans. That is incredibly, that is why we gave them to you. Also, we partnered with Tamoa to bring you these wonderful chaparro beans, and I know that Macienda also partners with Tamoa, and Macienda does use a lot. It uses heritage corn, which is why we like to feature them once every year or two. We put them in the club because it's pretty amazing, and it's a great pairing with your beans. So, at any rate, if anyone has any questions, pop them in the comments. I'm still figuring this out. I swear I'll figure this out. I might get new software. I don't know. If anybody's got tips, please email me, put them in the comments, because this whole thing is a completely new situation for me. Here we go. There we go. Learning. So, but I wanted to give you guys a really cool sneak peek. Very cool, easy sneak peek at the very, very exciting thing coming. I have just gotten these. These have just hit my desk. And it's something we've been talking about for a month or so. 2, maybe. This is the much anticipated medianoche. So if you bring over the medianoche, if you have been following us and you're getting our emails, you might have seen the medianoche, and we have a blog post on our website, which, if I'm smart, I'll link to in the comments, which I'll try to do for you here in a second. So the medianoche is an ayacote bean, and it's a very, very special ayacote bean grown in the Puebla region, which is where ayacotes have been grown for 6,000 years. They predate the Aztec Empire. And these are grown in a very small village by one farm, and it's the most beautiful mix you've ever seen. This beautiful, they were just calling it ayacote, which is like saying black bean. And the ayacote is a type of bean. It's a runner bean from Mexico. It is related to the scarlet runner. They're in the same kind of family of runner beans, but they are very different. And this is much, much more ancient. And there are hundreds of identified varieties of the ayacote. But every town, every little village, every farmer has their own version. And this farmer, we are really wanting to work with this farm. They're so beautiful. And when they showed me a picture of them, I asked what they were calling, and they just said, we just called them ayacote. And I said, well, we need a better name than that. So we named it the medianoche, which means midnight. And I named it that because it's mostly black. We've got some, it's going to be hard to see in this light, but we've got some that are like a speckled black with purple on them, some that are speckled in white, and then occasionally a white one or a cream colored one, just occasionally. And it looked to me like a midnight sky with little stars dotting the sky. And so I called it the medianoche. They loved the name, and they immediately started selling it in Mexico. And we had this dilemma. What do we do? Do we, with this name, do we, oops, now see, I've screwed it up again. There we go. Wow, I think I need like a camera tech or something in here. So I might force my husband to get up on a Sunday morning. That'll be bad. So anyway, we had this dilemma. What do we do about this name? Do we, do we trademark the name to protect it? How do we protect this name so that, some corporation or company, who shall be nameless, some company come along and trademark it, because somebody could do that. And so we decided we didn't want to trademark it, because we trademark it. If I trademark this bean and I'm hit by a bus tomorrow, that trademark then goes to the company that I have. And what if the company is sold, somebody takes over the company, and they then, aren't nice with the farmers? And what if the farmer wants to use it with other people? What if other farmers in his village want to also use it? It just gets really messy. And we thought about trademarking it for the farmers, but then that becomes, we have to set up a corporation in Mexico, but this is USB. That got really messy too. We'd have to have a corporation, and then what happens with that? So the simplest solution was, we decided we would put this name in the public domain purposely. And we actually need all of your help. So the more that we talk about the medianoche being in the public domain and put that in print, in writing, if you've got a blog about it. If you're on social media, post it on social media, talk about our bean, talk about the name, and talk about the fact that we're giving the name away and it's in the public domain. That places the name in public domain. And we want this to be associated with this bean that's grown in this village by this farmer. It's an amazing bean. It's an incredible story. They are big, they're meaty, they're creamy on the inside, and we are so excited to be having these beans. So that's your sneak peek at what is coming in June. Now, the club is right now closed, but if you are not in the club and you would like to get on, please join the wait list. And I'm going to, I know this is so bad, like it's taking me I'm so bad at, I should gotta figure out a way to preload this stuff. All right, here we go. I'm going to post this in the comments. Here is the link to the Bean Club so that you can, the Heirloom Bean and Grain Club. Sorry, the Heirloom Bean and Grain Club. Strike that. Whew, that was tough. See what I mean about being a generic term? It's just kind of a generic term. It's what it is. It describes it. So hard. But anyway, hopefully I won't get a letter after this. Darn it. If you've been following the drama, just know, Foodocracy, free the beans. Free the beans, people. Free the beans, because beans belong to everyone. Like the Ayakote. Thank you all so much for joining me on a Sunday morning. And I'm sorry, I'm going to work out my camera situation. First time. Rough, but we made it. Thank you so much. And thank you. Bye-bye.